It is Wednesday, March 2nd in the NBA, and I'm back with my 4 best picks of the day. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Let's do a recap from yesterday. We just missed getting a little bit of a sweep on our 2 plays. Stephen Curry, best bet of the day, cashes his points with ease. But poor Reggie Jackson has 6 assists midway through the third, then gets benched the whole fourth quarter, ends on the hook for us. Either way, we can't dwell on the past. We're going to keep pushing forward. If you are new to the Calling Our Shot channel, welcome aboard. We appreciate it. Go down below. Do me a favor. Click that subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. We're grinding towards 30,000 subscribers. Trying to hit that by the end of the month. I believe in you guys. Also, go hit that like button too. We really would appreciate it. Again, shout out to all our new COS All-Stars. You guys are the real MVPs. I always kind of promote them. That's because I love these people. Costs only $2.99 a month, $2.99. Less than the price of a coffee, less than the price of some stupid parlays people are placing. Just click the join button or click the first link in the pinned comment. We really would appreciate it. All these videos are 100% free for all these people because of the All-Stars. Now, our newest ones, Dog Better, Gorilla Trap Music, or Darrell, Gregory, Rob, Alex, Kyle, Great Like Gatsby, CM, Clearonamos, and Marcel. We appreciate you guys all again. There's no better time than become an all-star than at the beginning of the month, so we certainly would appreciate it. All right, moving on. My final 2 notes. 1, our podcast is live this morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'll link it at the end of the video once it is live, so definitely go check that out. Logan and I talked about some NBA future bets that we like, maybe a little dark horse for the NBA Finals, and even we talked about the MLB lockout, which is going on right now. Now, number 2, our weekly live stream. It is Wednesday, so our weekly live stream is tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Definitely come out. We'd appreciate it. I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, we hit 300 viewers. We'd be really cool if we can hit that again. We're going to be live to answer every single one of your guys' questions that you have about tonight's slate. We're going to have a great time, so definitely come out. We'll be live for about 30 to 35 minutes from 6 to 6:30 Eastern time. Put it on your calendars. Now, it is sponsored by Dimers, and we have a ton of cool sportsbook sign-up bonuses in case you're ever curious or you want to open up a different sportsbook, you want to shop a bunch of different lines. Definitely go do it. We have a bunch of sportsbook sign-up bonuses. They're all linked down below. I think the coolest one right now is a Caesars deposit match, where you think if you deposit like $50, they might give you a free bet up to $1,500 depending on what you deposit. So definitely go check it out. A bunch of cool different sportsbook sign-up links, and it is another way to support me in addition to becoming a COS All-Star. Let's waste no more time. It's Wednesday. I have 4 plays today. We're starting with the best bet of the day. CJ McCollum over 29.5 points plus assists, minus 110 on Caesars. Now, before I break down why I like this line, I know some people don't have points plus assists. So some people have PRAs. That's a great bet too. If you want to bet an individual one, if you want a juice bet, I'd take his assists at 4.5. It's very juicy, like minus 150, minus 160. And then I would likely go to his points line in that order. Now, today, McCollum and the Pelicans are taking on the Sacramento Kings, and I love that matchup, but this is one of my favorite games, and you'll see why, because we got another play in this one at the end of the video. Now, McCollum has been sensational since being traded to the Pelicans. He's had a resurgence. I don't know. He just felt better, felt like the prime McCollum, looking like the best McCollum we've ever seen, and his points plus assist line, like I said, I don't mind the rebounds, but you'll understand why I don't really want to target it in this matchup. Now, the last 6 games as a Pelican, 30, 36, 43, 37, 28, and 41 points plus assists. So he's gone under in 1 of those 5 games and barely hit the over in the last game against the Lakers. The 2 games he didn't get, he really was real near this line within 5, was because they were blowouts. They blew out the Raptors and they blew out the Lakers. Now, they could do the same thing to the Kings today, but I don't think they will. I think the Kings can keep this game close. The Kings are 5-point underdogs, but I still think the Kings can keep it close. Now, the reason I love his assists so much, and I think it's a little bit underrated, is because recently you've seen the Pelicans start Jackson Hayes. And if you don't know who Jackson Hayes is, he's very tall. He's like 6'10", 6'11", and he started him at power forward. And what they've been doing is instead of starting Devontae Graham, which is another guy that can control the ball, is take the ball away from McCollum, then putting Jackson Hayes. And when you look at who's starting with McCollum, it's going to be McCollum, Ingram, Herb Jones, Jackson Hayes, and Jonas Valanciunas. So 3 of those guys, Jones, Valanciunas, and Hayes, they're not going to get you more than 2 or 3 assists. They're not really going to create shots for their teammates. So it leads to McCollum and Ingram all creating basically every single one of the shots. So if they get any assists, it's going to be because of those 2 guys, and that's what we saw last game with both of them getting 8 assists against the Lakers. Now, I don't see a reason for Hayes to not continue to start because the Pelicans, I'm going to be honest, they've been pretty good as of late with Hayes starting. McCollum's going to continue to shoot it a ton. I mean, he's shot 20 plus times in 4 of his 7 games as a Pelican, 13, 15, and 8 field goal attempts in the other 3 games. The over-under for this game set at 235, so a lot of points and assists to go around. And McCollum's last 4 against Sacramento, he's at 19, 39, 38, and 40 points plus assists, easily cashing in 3 of the 4 games. He did go under last game again in November. He shot 6 for 20 in that game. Look, if he's going to shoot that poorly, you're going to have to just live with it. But I think he can get it done. That's why he's the best bet of the day, over 29.5 points plus assists. Now, let's move on to one of my another favorite play. Going to be a pretty common guy tonight. James Harden over 10.5 assists, minus 130 on Caesars. Now, look, there's a lot of different things you could target in this Knicks-Sixers games. You'll see we might have another play on this one as well. And I'm just going to run it back with Harden because you could take his points, you could take his rebounds, you could take his assists, you could take a triple-double, you could take PRAs, you could take any combination of them. I think you have a pretty good chance of hitting, but I'm just going to take with assists today, and there's a couple reasons why. Now, in his 2 games as a Sixer, 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 16 assists against the Knicks, and 27, 8, and 12 against the Timberwolves. Now, he easily crushed all the lines out of the water, but I'm not going to take his PRA line. His points is fine. Like I said, I'm fine with all of his lines, but I think he's going to continue to get a ton of assists like he did against the Knicks. Because you look at the last game, Harden had 16 assists. He did it on 28 potential assists. Now, that's not a typo. He had 28 assist chances, converting it into 16. And the NBA stats website, which is what tracks these things, they give you an adjusted assists number, which kind of takes into, I don't know what they do to calculate it. Maybe it takes into account maybe some missed layups, maybe some fouls. And we know Joel Embiid was getting hacked every single time last game. And they gave Harden another 5 assists. They had his adjusted assists at 21. So there's a lot more room to grow for Mr. Harden. In his other game, he had 19 assist chances. The guy's been ridiculous on the season, averaging 10.3 assists per game, 19.7 assist chances per game, both second in the league behind Chris Paul. Now, Harden has hit this over in 6 of his last 7 games, and I expect us to continue to play this line until it goes up to 11.5, kind of like we did with CP3. Now, I know this is super high line, and I know it's we don't love taking super high lines, but I think he'll continue to get it done. I don't really see the Knicks adjusting too much to the pick and roll, and look, they're not going to foul Joel Embiid as much as they did last game. They purely can't because they don't have enough guys to really back him up, so I think they'll maybe let Embiid get a couple easy layups. Maybe we see a little bit more popping from Embiid in terms of him not shooting or getting to the rim as much. Maybe they converge and make him shoot a little bit more mid-range, but we know Embiid's one of the best scorers in the NBA, and this pick and roll game has been unstoppable. So wouldn't be surprised to see Harden get another 14 assists. In the beard we trust. There's plenty of same game parlays you could probably do for this game as well. Now, we're going to get into my spread lead in the video. This is kind of where we split it up into 2 separate kind of segments. You guys know I don't like to bet spreads, but if I were to bet one, and this would probably be it. Yesterday we had the Mavs -5, which did push. We're not going to count this towards my record since I won't have a dime on it, but I like the Jazz -12.5, and look, I watched the Rockets sell us yesterday. We just needed the Rockets to keep the game close against the Clippers, and they said, nah, we're good. We're not going to do that, and look, I'm going to fade them tonight because the Jazz have absolutely dominated them from the majority of the last couple seasons. In their last 6 games against the Jazz, Rockets that is, they've lost by 34, they won by 5, they lost by 31, lost by 8, lost by 23, lost by 15. Only covering this line in just 1 and 2 of those 6 games. Look, I don't think the Rockets are all that good. So I think the Jazz need a big pick-me-up, a big blowout game, and I think it comes here at the helm of the Rockets. Now, I'm not going to play it, but that's my spread lead. Now, moving on to my final 2 plays of the day, which we don't do 4 plays too often, but I like all of them. RJ Barrett, over 22.5 points, -114 on FanDuel. Now, most people know I don't like betting a lot of games. I don't like betting 2 picks in 1 game. But here we are, because really I don't like doing it because of blowout factor. And I know this one could be a blowout, Sixers versus Knicks, but I think it will be. I think the Knicks can keep it close. They play much better on the road for whatever reason. That's just what they do. But look, this is Harden's first game in Philly. I didn't even mention that when we were talking about Harden, but it is his first game in Philly, so he should be looking to put on a show. But RJ Barrett's shooting volume, it's too hard for me to ignore. 22 field goal attempts in each of the last 2 games, 22 free throw attempts against Miami, 10 free throw attempts against Philly, and he's been superb, scoring 24 and 46 points. Now, we saw his line against Philly last game be 21.5, very respectable. They moved it up to 22.5 after he scored 24 points. Last game against Philly, didn't even shoot great, 9 for 22 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, 6 for 10 for the free throw line. Now, look, the free throws and the field goal attempts are going to keep coming because, look, there's no one else. There's hardly a lot. The shooting tree on the Knicks, very narrow. You're down Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker, 2 point guards. So really you see RJ Barrett initiating some offense, Julius Randle shooting some, and then it's Fournier and quickly Alec Burks stinks. They basically want to bench him. And then Mitchell Robinson is going to start, but he's very little of a factor on offense. So, look, Barrett's got an easy recipe, an easy kind of tree to 20-plus field goal attempts, and he's in the last 13 games where we've seen him shoot 20-plus times. He's at the over in 12 of those games. 1 miss, he shot 7 for 21. Missed 4 of his 5 free throws and scored 19 points against the Celtics. He doesn't have the best matchup on paper. Matisse Thybulle, very good defensively, one of the best at limiting opposing field goal percentage for the person he's guarding, and Joel Embiid is a decent rim protector. But look, Very similar to how DeMar DeRozan cashed for us a couple nights ago. Very inefficient, but I think volume can carry him over this line alone. RJ is going to have to be pretty aggressive. And we think about that last game against Philly, there's really not a lot of transition, and that's how RJ Barrett scores. He scores getting some rebounds, getting dishes, kind of pushing it in transition. Last game, there was hardly any transition points, fast break points, because the Knicks were fouling like crazy. I don't think they fouled too much today, and I think we get some easy points for Barrett in transition today. So we'll be counting on him. Won't be the most efficient thing you'll see in the world, but I think he can get us over 22.5 points. Now, my final play of the day, it's another play in the same game we already talked about. De'Aaron Fox over 30.5 points plus assists, minus 115 on FanDuel. Now, here I am doing 2 plays in 2 games, which could really go wrong, but I don't think it will because I have a lot of confidence and I think there's a good edge in both of these 2 plays. Now, look, Fox has been pretty good in the assist category as of late, and if I had to break it down into if you don't have points plus assists, I do the same exact thing as I said with McCollum. Take PRAs probably first, then probably his assists at 5.5, and then points, just like McCollum. Now, look, Foxes and the Kings are obviously matching up against CJ McCollum, the best bet of the day, and that's going to leave either 1, CJ McCollum to guard De'Aaron Fox, or 2, Herb Jones. And while Herb Jones is probably the only guy on the team that plays defense, I still not really concerned about him. The Kings love to run in transition. We'll see Fox getting up and down the court. Now, since Halliburton was traded, Fox has been very good, especially over the last 4 games with 39, 36, 24, and 42 points plus assists, hitting this over easily in 3 of the 4 games. Now, he's been getting a ton of assists as of late, averaging 15.5% potential assists the last 2 games, so you can get 10 plus assists in each of them. And then the key detail here that I haven't talked about, Fox was born in New Orleans. And while I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to pick on a guy returning to home, look, his stats against the Pelicans are ridiculous. And he grew up in New Orleans, which is where they are playing today. Now, look, you could say it makes no difference, but here's his last 6 against the Pelicans. He's had 24, 28, 49, 40, 55, and 40 points plus assists. So he went under the last 2 this season. That was with Tyrese Halliburton playing a much bigger role, and Halliburton obviously out of town in Indiana. Now he's gone over this in 4 of the last 6 games, and he's been crushing the line out of the water. I think we get close to that 40 points plus assists once again. I'm not scared of Jackson Hayes or Jonas Valanciunas in the paint at all. I think he can easily get it done. You look at the last, 10, 15 guards that have shot 18 plus times against the Pelicans. They've hit this over pretty much every single time. I think Fox will easily get it done. Like we said, high over-under at 235, and obviously a close spread at -5. I think the Kings can keep this game close to count McCollum and Fox to both hit. So those are 2 of my 4 favorite plays, but I'll recap them for you guys. CJ McCollum over 29.5 points plus assists, De'Aaron Fox over 30.5 points plus assists, RJ Barrett over 22.5 points, and James Harden over 10.5 assists. Now, a couple other guys I did consider. The Greek Freak, I know he might be a popular play, does not have great splits against the Miami Heat. Now, he is playing at home where he notoriously plays better. I think his points line is like 28.5. Don't mind the Greek Freak today. Might lean. I'd probably stay away from him if I had to, but I don't mind. I don't know. I'd lean his unders if I had to honestly pick one. So another guy, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I imagine I get some questions about him because his point line went down to like 26.5. Look, stay far away from SGA tonight. He could easily hit his over. Maybe consider his turnovers over. Ronak brought that up. His turnovers is probably a good bet too. But look, I don't count the Thunder to keep that game close against the Nuggets at all. They could easily get blown out like the Thunder are really capable of doing. So either way, we'll probably answer some more of your questions in the live stream. See you guys later tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the new COS All-Stars. Use our Dimers Sportsbook link down below. Let's have a great Wednesday, everyone. Those are my 4 plays. No added plays today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.